Hey guys, Simon here and welcome back to another episode. Today we have some items to take a look at, so let's get started. First up is a title that I passed on when it originally released back on the 14th of February 2020 by Media Molecule, and recently it just went on sale at EB Games. It's a copy of Dreams for the PS4, a rather unique title as it's not so much of a game in the traditional sense as it's a game creation system. So you can sit down, design your own working games with user-generated mechanics, assets, sculptures, music and art, and then you can share and upload your creations with other Dreams users as well as download their content and user-created games. So as mentioned, it's a really unique title, and I've watched a few YouTube videos showing off people's creations, some of them being fully fledged flight combat games and platformers. It's amazing stuff. There are some really talented people out there. So I'm hoping over the Christmas break I get to sit down and learn Dreams for myself and see what I can create. Next up is a copy of Space Hulk Deathwing, but a little bit of background information first. Back in 1997, I would play Space Hulk Vengeance of the Blood Angels on the PS1 with my late grandfather all the time when I was on school holidays. I remember when me and my sisters had to go to bed, I would sneak out and I would sit in the hallway as my grandfather would stay up late and keep on playing, and I would just watch as it was a straight shot down the hallway and you could get a really good view of the TV. The thing is, I'm pretty sure he knew I was there the whole time, but he would never say anything because he didn't want my mother to find out so I wouldn't get in trouble. The next morning he would tell me how he went about commanding his troops through the levels he had completed, but he would never save the game. That way we could sit down and play through it together. He was awesome for that. I really miss those times and I miss him dearly. So yeah, a little bit of the background story, but back to Space Hulk Deathwing. This is basically a modernization of Vengeance of the Blood Angels. It didn't receive the best review scores, but I'm going to go into it open-minded and just enjoy it for what it is. Now we have a PSP title, and I'll tell you what, I haven't picked up a PSP game in years, but I've snagged up a copy of Wipeout Pure, as I'm a big fan of anything Wipeout, and I'd love to sit down and just sink some time into this so I can compare it to other installments in the franchise, as I've adored the series ever since I played Wipeout 2097 back on my original PS1. I often wonder why Sony hasn't done anything with Wipeout in regards to a new installment for the PS4 during last gen. I know we had the Omega Collection, which was great. They had the inclusion of a VR mode, which was insanely fun, but they were just basically 4K upscaled versions of games we had already played. It would be awesome to get a new Wipeout game. So here's hoping that Sony breathes new life into the franchise during the PS5's life cycle. For the next item, I've picked up a copy of The Matrix: Path of Neo. This was released back on the 11th of November 2005. It was developed by Shiny Entertainment and published by Atari. With this game, you play out major action scenes from the first Matrix film. Your character learns all types of signature fighting abilities and techniques from the movies like bullet dodge, flight, and bullet stop, as well as use heaps of melee weapons along with firearms. Now, I've seen The Path of Neo around a lot, but I've never purchased it, and I don't know why. As growing up, I was a huge fan of all the Matrix films. They were just so jam-packed full of awesome action and fight scenes, with my favourite being the fight for Zion from the third movie, when all the Sentinels breached the docks and the APUs were just trying to fend them off. It was just so epic to watch, and whenever I see something Matrix related, I straight away just start reminiscing about the early 2000s. As I was in high school at the time, there was just so many great movies and games coming out. Life was just fun and simple, but I do wish I played more PS2 back then, because I did miss out on a heap of good titles, with The Matrix: Path of Neo being one of them, so looking forward to trying this one out. And last up is Project Warlock, which I downloaded from the PlayStation Store. Now, it's a little bit strange to include this in a pickups video, as it's digital only and didn't see a physical release, which sucks, and I normally don't go out of my way to purchase digital only games. But I made the exception with Project Warlock because it's a retro styled FPS. It's a genre that I've really been getting into over the past few months, but unfortunately we haven't seen many get released on consoles, as the majority of retro throwback shooters only get released on PC via Steam. So fingers crossed we start to see more titles getting console releases. But As for Project Warlock, it's a great title. It's got tons of fast-paced action, unique visuals and art style. It reminds me a lot of Wolfenstein 3D. It's got a dash of light RPG elements where your character gains level points, which you can use to upgrade your weapons, spells, or character stats. Tons of gore, a large variety of weapons that pack a pretty beefy punch, great sound design, and provides challenging but fair gameplay with an appealing price tag of only $22 Australian. I highly recommend this game, so if you're a fan of retro shooters, be sure to give Project Warlock a try. It's great fun. Well, that's it for today's episode. Let me know down in the comments, what have you picked up recently and what have you been playing? Myself, I'm still pretty much addicted to the Demon's Souls remake, but I've also been getting stuck into Project Warlock. I really love retro shooters. It's a good nostalgia trip. Anyway, with that said, remember, keep that positivity flowing, and I'll see you next time with more PlayStation content. Thanks, guys.